Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for such a positive reaction to my first few videos, and I really hope that there's going to be lots more to come. There'll be laughs, there'll be help, there'll be tips, there'll be tricks, there'll be experiences, and I really hope we can continue and keep this on growing, and that ultimately I can fulfill my aims of really just helping people and letting them know that they're not alone. So today's video, I'm doing my top 12 different tips and tricks for anxiety attacks and panic attacks, to either help prevent them or, as they begin, to help stop them and prevent them from developing further. So without further ado, tip number 1. So first of all, stop where you are, shut your eyes and take deep breaths. 4 seconds in, hold for 2, and then 4 seconds out. Repeat this for 5 minutes before then opening your eyes. And the reason for this is that it slows your heart rate down and it slows your breathing rate down, and it really just begins to relax the body and the brain from overloading and overworking. Second, positive affirmations. So there's this psychological concept of fight versus flight when it comes to anxiety and panic and the body's reactions. And flight refers to succumbing to panic, which, happens to all of us. It's happened to me. It still does happen to me, in fact, quite regularly. And we've all done it. However, there's also the option to try and fight. And what this means is to try and ride it out, acknowledge it's there, but use other techniques to kind of get through it. So positive affirmations are a really good one. Say to yourself, you're not in danger, it'll be okay, you can do this, or, it's just one bad moment in a lifetime of millions of them. And this really, really, really helps the brain to bring itself back to a normal level of calmness, if you can instill it in yourself that, it's okay, you will be okay. Positive mantras, because positivity arguably breeds positivity. Number 3, perhaps one of the most important ones is to, if you're with friends and family, alert them, or if you're not, alert a surrounding stranger, really. I've done it before, because you get to a point where you feel like sometimes you might pass out, or you're really, really struggling, and if that's the case, it's important to let someone know so that should you pass out, they can provide first aid or call the right people. Number 4, grab a drink of water, basically, that's cold, sip on it, really feel it as you're doing that, give your mind something to focus on. Alternatively, splash your face in a sink, very lightly, just pretend that you're washing away those feelings, really. You're kind of resetting yourself and giving your mind a fresh start. Number 5, perhaps in my eyes, the most useful one for me personally. Again, everyone's different. What I constitute as being useful, you might not. Some might work better for you than others, and that's okay. So, for mindfulness, which is number 5, similarly to number 1, you're going to want to shut your eyes and start your breathing. However, every time for this one, rather than just focusing on us breathing alone, whilst you do so, every time the mind wanders, back to the breath. Every time the mind wanders, come back to the breath. I cannot urge you enough, keep bringing it back to the breath. And that way, once you've repeated this for 5 to 15 minutes and you've calmed the mind down, when you open your eyes to your surroundings, you can begin to become more aware of what's around you and what's in the room. Appreciate the nature of them and the beauty of them, the quietness of them, or if you're in the city, the busyness of them. Really just look to focus on that once you've calmed the mind down and you've reset the body's panic systems. Number 6, listen to music and put headphones in and sing along. Who cares what anyone else thinks? Just really go for it, immerse yourself, put on the happiest song you can think of. Acknowledge that you're not feeling great, and then positively channel that energy into just singing, singing, and singing away. Number 7, remind yourself that all bad days must end. You can reset yourself tomorrow, for tomorrow's always, always a new day. Don't beat yourself up. Really, really don't. There's no help in beating yourself up over it. It is, honestly, more than okay to not be okay, have a cry. I'm quite happy to admit I do it quite often, and I have always felt better afterwards. Do not bottle it up. Number 8 is kind of similar to certain ones I've said before, but this time, rather than at the mindfulness where you do the breathing, leave out the breathing and take your surroundings and find a focus object. What does it look like? What are the patterns? What do you like about it? What don't you like? What would you improve? What couldn't be improved? You know, really use your senses around you. You know, immerse yourself in it. Enjoy it. Look at this focus object. Take the brain's attention and divert it from the moment of panic, whilst acknowledging that it's still there, and divert it to something that helps avert that and change that frame of mind. Number 9, if you're at home, watch your favourite film or play your favourite game. This is something that I absolutely quite often do if I'm panicking over work or I'm anxious over work. It's important to take a break. Don't continue to force yourself through it the entire time, particularly when it comes to student life and work. Number 10, picture your happy place. Again, this kind of draws on the mindfulness and the breathing techniques we've thought of before. Just shut your eyes, make it somewhere quiet, nowhere busy, so not, for example, I don't know, a busy New York Times Square. Make it somewhere very, very quiet, like a sandy Jamaican or Barbadian beach, and really begin to use your senses, as I've said in other ones. What does it smell like? What does it sound like? What does the food and drink taste of? What can you see? What can you touch? What colour's the sand? You know, all of this. Just imagine that absolute blissful place, and again, it brings the mind into a calming, passionate, safe place for you. Number 11, engage in light physical exercise, nothing heavy. Reason being, simply endorphins keep the blood pumping, and when the blood's pumping, you begin to think of other things, again, as a kind of distraction technique, whilst acknowledging that, yes, I'm anxious, but here's how I'm going to try and fight it. Personally, this is where my walking comes into play, and why I walk so much, 11 to 12 miles a day if I can. Some days, okay, it's only 6 or 7, but, that's still a heck of a lot, and it works for me, and it's all about finding what works for you. Number 12, so finally, keep a relaxing scent on hand. A bit of lavender oil, vanilla oil, anything like that. Something that takes you back to your happy place, and your mind can automatically reset itself. Absolutely brilliant idea, and it really does work. So at home in my bedroom, I have a candle that's kind of a musky scent, and so I always have on me a little vial of oil with a kind of the same sort of musky vanilla-y scent on me, and it just reminds me of being at home and being relaxed, and yeah, it really works. So those are my top 12 tips, and each and every one of them works differently. They can all work, and I really, really hope that you're all having a wonderful, wonderful week so far, and that these can help. If even for a moment, that momentary relief is better than nothing. And I'd really, really be pleased and proud of myself if my experiences and my thoughts and views could help someone out there. So please keep watching, like the videos, subscribe to them, share them about if you feel someone could benefit, and I will see you for the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and peace.